Chapter 541 It's just some garbage, squandering for fun. Goo Island Master. That's because you don't understand my squandering apprentice. Because the things he squanders are extremely precious, so it will indirectly hit the people around him. Seeing that Gu Xiaoyun didn't take her reminder too seriously, Luo Qianxue also smiled bitterly and explained. Really? Qianxue, if you say so, then I'm really looking forward to it. Hearing Luo Qianxue's words, Gu Xiaoyun also expressed her thoughts with anticipation. Hey! Why didn't Island Master Gu listen to advice? Then should I tell her that Yi Feng was going to use the 3 top-level ancient fairy flowers to ruin the family? Master! Disciple is here. Just when Luo Qianxue was thinking about whether to tell Gu Xiaoyun about this situation, Yi Feng's voice suddenly rang out from the entrance of the hall, and then Yi Feng walked into the hall with a smile. Island Master Gu. This is my prodigal disciple Yi Feng. Disciple. This is the Island Master Gu. When Yi Feng came over, Luo Qianxue introduced the two to each other. Yi Feng. I just heard from your master that you want to prodigal on my Tianhua Island. I wonder how you want to prodigal? When Luo Qianxue finished the introduction, Gu Xiaoyun looked at Yi Feng with curiosity and asked. Island Master Gu. Since you already know, can you do me a favor? I want to ask you to help me gather all the fairy flower masters and fairy Taoists who like fairy flowers on Tianhua Island, and then at night, I want to give them a big surprise. After hearing what Gu Xiaoyun said, Yi Feng also went straight to the point and expressed his thoughts. What do I know? Moreover, if you want to prodigal, then you want to prodigal, why do you want me to gather everyone together? You don't sleep in the middle of the night, and hundreds of thousands of people watch you prodigal, you call this a big surprise? Hearing Yi Feng's words, Gu Xiaoyun also revealed a confused look. Yi Feng. Then tell me first, how do you want to ruin your family? And what is the big surprise you prepared? If you can't convince me, then I definitely can't help you. After all, the worst of the people who came to participate in the flower viewing conference are first-class forces, and there are also many overlord-level forces. If I gather everyone at will, it will make a joke and affect the reputation of Tianhua Island. After recovering from the shock, Gu Xiaoyun also said to Yi Feng with a serious face. I have 10,000 of each of the 3 ancient top fairy flowers. I want to use these 30,000 ancient top fairy flowers to build a huge fairy flower, and then burn it in front of everyone at night. Hearing Gu Xiaoyun's question, Yi Feng did not hide anything and directly said his idea. At the same time, he took out one of each of the 3 ancient top fairy flowers from the system space to prove that what he said was true. White Flame Poison Flower. Mysterious Ice Ghost Flower. Demon Thunder Nether Flower. I didn't expect that they actually still exist. When Gu Xiaoyun saw the 3 fairy flowers that Yi Feng took out, she trembled with excitement. She didn't expect that she could actually see the 3 top-level ancient fairy flowers in the legend in her lifetime. Wait. Just now Yi Feng said that he had 30,000 top-level ancient fairy flowers. And then, he had to burn them in front of hundreds of thousands of fairy flower masters at night. At this moment, Gu Xiaoyun suddenly thought of what Yi Feng had just said, and then looked at Yi Feng in shock and asked, Yi Feng, you were kidding me just now, right? Gu Island Master. I'm not kidding. However, my idea of wasting money should be able to convince you. After all, letting hundreds of thousands of fairy flower masters see the legendary 3 top fairy flowers in person can also be regarded as helping them fulfill a wish, right? After hearing Gu Xiaoyun's words, Yi Feng also responded with a smile. Qianxue. Do you know what fairy flowers your wasted apprentice is going to burn? Those are the 3 irreplaceable divine flowers in the minds of countless fairy flower masters. And now he is going to burn them all. Is this something a human can do? He is such a waster, don't you know how to control him? Hearing Yi Feng's words, Gu Xiaoyun also looked at Luo Qianxue anxiously, hoping that Luo Qianxue could control Yi Feng, so that Yi Feng would give up this extremely crazy idea of wasting money. Master Gu. Don't embarrass me. If I could control him, I would have done it long ago. But the problem is, I can't control him at all. After all, those garbage are his own. Hearing Gu Xiaoyun's words, Luo Qianxue also spread her hands helplessly, and then said with a wry smile. Those garbage? You call the 3 top fairy flowers of ancient times garbage? Crazy. Hearing Luo Qianxue's answer, Gu Xiaoyun felt that she was going crazy. It's okay for the apprentice to be a spendthrift, but is the master's vision so high? Those are the 3 magic flowers in the eyes of their fairy flower masters. After taking a deep breath, Gu Xiaoyun quietly walked aside, then took out the sound transmission stone and contacted Hu Li, thinking to herself, it seems that Hu Li has to take action. If Hu Li knew that her apprentice and grand disciple were so prodigal, she would probably be very angry. Hu Li. I have something very important to tell you. That is, do you know how prodigal your grand disciple Yi Feng is? He actually wants to take the ancient. After activating the sound transmission stone, Gu Xiaoyun also hurriedly talked about the situation here, but before she finished speaking, she was interrupted by Hu Li on the other side. Xiaoyun. I think I guessed what you are going to say. Although Yi Feng is my grand disciple, he is also the supreme elder of the Holy Land, and even my uncle Yi. As a junior, it is not good for me to interfere in the affairs of my elders. Hu Li, who guessed what Gu Xiaoyun was going to say, also smiled bitterly and explained. Grand disciple? Elder Yi? Uncle Yi? What did you do to make your relationship so complicated? After hearing Hu Li's words, Gu Xiaoyun felt that her head was about to explode. Xiaoyun. In a word, my uncle Yi is not an ordinary person, so let him squander his money however he wants. Besides, they are just some garbage, just squander them for fun. Let's not talk about it for now, I have something to do here, I will find you when I have time. At this time, Hu Li spoke again, and then directly cut off the connection of the sound transmission stone. Chapter 542. Who is the young Master Yi they are talking about? I don't know him. It's over. The problem hasn't been solved yet, and there's an uncle. What's the big deal? Looking at the unresponsive sound transmission stone, Gu Xiaoyun was completely stunned. After all, she and Hu Li are of the same generation, and Yi Feng is Hu Li's uncle, so he is equivalent to her uncle. Thinking of this, Gu Xiaoyun didn't know how to face Yi Feng for a while. Things are getting more and more complicated. It seems that if we want to solve this matter, we can only contact the young palace master. Thinking of this, Gu Xiaoyun also used the sound transmission stone to contact Bu Shuai directly. Soon. Young palace master. Something big has happened. The legendary 3 top fairy flowers of ancient times have appeared and are currently in the hands of a young man. And he is actually going to burn all the 3 top fairy flowers. After activating the sound transmission stone, Gu Xiaoyun also hurriedly talked about the situation here, but before she finished speaking, she was interrupted by Bu Shuai on the other side. This familiar rhythm made Gu Xiaoyun feel a little uneasy. Master Gu. What do you mean by that? Why, my elder brother wants to burn some fairy flowers for fun, and you are not happy? The things are not yours, why are you worrying about them? Soon, Bu Shuai's voice rang out from Gu Xiaoyun's mind. Brother, when did Yi Feng become the eldest brother of the young palace master? If the young palace master calls him the eldest brother, what should I call him? Crazy. Gu Xiaoyun was really going crazy at this time. She couldn't understand why Yi Feng had so many identities. Young palace master. Then I don't need to care about Yi Xiao's matter? After recovering from her shock, Gu Xiaoyun also tried to calm herself down, and then asked Bu Shuai tentatively. Gu Island Master. What do you mean you don't need to care? My eldest brother wants to set off a fire in front of hundreds of thousands of fairy flower masters. You have to help gather those people? Do I need to teach you this? Also, seeing my eldest brother is like seeing me, so you'd better be respectful to my eldest brother, otherwise, don't blame me for being rude to you. After saying that, Bu Shuai directly cut off the connection of the sound transmission stone. What's going on? What is going on? I used the sound transmission stone to contact two people, but not only did it not solve the problem, but there was also an extra Yi. Mr. Yi. I thought about it, and I think your idea of squandering money is very good. So, just make arrangements. I will definitely call everyone over when the time comes. When Gu Xiaoyun came back, she looked at Yifeng respectfully and said, What on earth was Master Gu doing just now? How come after he came back, Yifeng became Master Yi? And he directly agreed to Yifeng's extremely crazy idea of squandering money? Are you no longer going to save the 30,000 divine flowers? Luo Qianxue, who was standing by, also showed a hint of doubt on her face when she heard what Gu Xiaoyun said. An hour later. Master Yi. This is the central square of the flower viewing conference. At present, tens of thousands of precious fairy flowers have been placed here, and the location we are currently in happens to be the center of this central square, which is just right for building a giant flower building. When Gu Xiaoyun brought Yifeng, Luo Qianxue, Bu Shuai, Feng Xiaoxiao, Uncle Zhang and others here, she also hurriedly spoke out to explain the situation. Not bad. Then what are you waiting for? Let's get busy. After hearing what Gu Xiaoyun said, Yifeng laughed and spoke to everyone, and then took out all the 30,000 ancient, top-level fairy flowers in the system space. Disciple. You really know how to play. In the lower realm, you refined a magic pill, and then trampled the magic pill into pill mud in front of hundreds of thousands of alchemists. Now that you are in the upper realm, you have taken out the magic flowers in the minds of all fairy flower masters, and are ready to burn them in front of hundreds of thousands of fairy flower masters. You are really a spendthrift who doesn't shed blood and leaves without a name. When everyone was busy building the giant flower building, Luo Qianxue also said to Yifeng jokingly, Master. Actually, they are not at a loss. Because of me, they can see the legendary divine pills and divine flowers in their lifetime, which is actually a wish for them to fulfill. If you really want to count, they still owe me a thank you. Hearing Luo Qianxue's words, Yifeng also responded with a smile. By the way, who are you going to let ignite the giant flower building? At this time, Luo Qianxue suddenly thought of something, and then with a hint of curiosity, she looked directly at Yifeng and asked. Swish. 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 As Luo Qianxue's voice fell, Gu Xiaoyun, Bu Shuai, Feng Xiaoxiao and Zhang Xu, who were busy not far away, also pricked up their ears instantly. To be honest, they also wanted to know who would be so unlucky to become the igniter. Uncle Zhang. Uncle Zhang must be the one to do the job of the igniter. After all, he was the one who came up with this idea for me, so we can't take credit for Uncle Zhang. It's no exaggeration to say that the moment when the giant flower building was lit at night was definitely the most glorious moment in Uncle Zhang's life. Hearing Luo Qianxue's question, Yifeng also expressed his thoughts seriously. This idea has nothing to do with me, moreover, don't just give me the credit, I'm afraid I can't control it. Hearing Yifeng's answer, Uncle Zhang felt like he was going crazy. Huh. The other three people heaved a sigh of relief when they heard Yifeng's answer. After all, as long as it wasn't them, it didn't matter who it was. Outside the central square. Everyone. We all gathered here suddenly. I just want to ask one thing. Are you all here for young Master Yi? Looking at the leaders of several major forces around, the leader of the Demon Soul sect, Wu Lin, was the first to break the silence. Huh? Master Wu, do you also know young Master Yi? Hearing Wu Lin's words, the leader of the Venus sect, Zhu Jingtian, also said in surprise. Ha ha ha. It seems that we are all one family. Then, the leader of the Fairy Worm Valley, Wu Su, also laughed and said. Everyone, it is fate that we can meet Master Yi on Tianhua Island today. In the future, we should keep in touch more often. Then, Bafang sect leader Du Kuanyang also laughed and said loudly. Fuck. Who am I? Where am I? Who is the Master Yi they are talking about? I don't know him. At this time, the leader of the Holy Fire sect, Gufeng, was stunned after hearing what everyone said. He just saw many people rushing here, so he followed to join in the fun. Chapter 543, Let My Son Bleed, and ask him if he knows Master Yi, ha ha ha. At the beginning, my son Du Tianyi sold the management rights of 9 towns in the Tiandao battlefield to Master Yi at the shocking price of 9 low-grade fairy stones. When I first learned the news, I went to find my son with a machete and almost chopped him to death. But it's a pity that my son couldn't be with Master Yi. At the end, Du Chuanyang's face also showed a trace of regret. Master Du, you've got it. My son Wu Feng was originally going to the 10,000 Insects formation to find his uncle, and happened to meet Master Yi there. He could have helped Master Yi a lot, but he was knocked unconscious several times by my elder brother with his palm knife. What's even more annoying is that my elder brother actually robbed my son of his opportunity, and he ran away with Master Yi. At this time, Wu Su was also talking about his experience in a depressed manner. However, when the two finished talking, they looked at each other and laughed. After all, they knew each other, and they knew each other about these situations. Now they are just telling it to others. Master Du, Master Wu. I didn't expect that you all knew Master Yi through your sons. After listening to you, I want to go back and beat up my useless son. You don't know, I was captured alive by Yi Xiao's men from the Demon Soul sect, and appeared in the 3rd fairyland in the blink of an eye. I'm not afraid of you laughing at me. I was almost scared to death at that time. Guess what happened? Yi Xiao captured me not to kill me, but to ask if I would sell the fairy beast I deposited in the Fengtian hunting ground. At this time, Wu Lin, the leader of the Demon Soul sect, also talked about the process of his acquaintance with Yi Feng. Everyone. After listening to you, I feel that my son is lucky. You don't know, my son Zhu Yang is a pure foodie. And after he met Yi Xiao, in order to buy a batch of unicorn black pig eggs from Yi Xiao, he actually persuaded me to sell the sect. I almost died of anger at that time. But, fortunately, my son Zhu Yang has become Yi Xiao's men. At this time, Zhu Jingtian, the leader of the Venus sect, also looked at everyone with a proud face and said aloud. Sect Master Wu, where are you going? At this time, when everyone found that the sect master of the Demon Soul sect, Wu Lin, took out a dagger from the fairy ring and walked away, they also asked with a puzzled look. Where are you going? Of course, I'm going back to bleed my son first, and then force him to know whether he knows Master Yi. I can't let him hide it from me anymore. Wu Lin heard everyone's questions and explained with a serious face. After all, everyone's son knows Master Yi, so why can't his son know Master Yi? Sect Master Wu. There's no rush to force this matter. Let's go see Master Yi first. Hearing Wu Lin's words, everyone also revealed a bitter smile, and then Zhu Jingtian also hurriedly persuaded him. When the four were about to enter the central square, they suddenly remembered that there was another person beside them, and then they all turned their heads to look at the leader of the Holy Fire sect, Gufeng. Everyone. This. I want to say that I just came here to join in the fun, and I don't know the young Master Yi you are talking about at all. Do you believe it? Seeing that everyone's eyes were looking at him, Gufeng also looked at everyone with embarrassment and explained. Master Gu. Does your son know young Master Yi? Or, ask your son first? Hearing Gufeng's words, Wu Lin also reminded him. Ask my son? But I don't have a son. After listening to you, I can't wait to go back and give birth to a few sons. Hearing Wu Lin's reminder, Gufeng also explained with embarrassment, Master Wu, I don't have a son, I only have 3 daughters, so I should not know the Master Yi you mentioned. If there is nothing else, I won't bother you to meet Master Yi. After saying that, Gufeng turned around and flew away, and at the same time took out a sound transmission stone to contact the eldest lady. Madam, gather the other 17 ladies immediately, all of you get ready for me. When I return from Tianhua Island this time, we will fight for 9,981 days, and we must give birth to a son. In the central square. Someone is coming. When Gu Xiaoyun found that 4 people had broken into the psychedelic formation in the central square, her face changed, and then she sneered and muttered to herself, it's ridiculous. How can you break the psychedelic formation arranged in the central square? Young Master Yi. 4 people have trespassed into the psychedelic formation. I will persuade them to leave first, and then go back to continue building the giant flower building. At this time, Gu Xiaoyun also came to Yi Feng and immediately explained the situation. Oh. Someone else dared to trespass into the psychedelic formation in the central square? Who are they? How dare they be so brave? Hearing Gu Xiaoyun's words, Yi Feng also asked, curiously. Young Master Yi. I just checked. They are Wu Lin, the leader of the Demon Soul sect, Zhu Jingtian, the leader of the Venus sect, Wu Su, the leader of the Fairy Worm Valley, and Du Kuanyang, the leader of the 8 Directions sect. Hearing Yi Feng's question, Gu Xiaoyun also hurriedly told the identities of the 4 people. Aren't these all old acquaintances? Could it be that they knew I was here, so they all came to look for me? Hearing these familiar names, Yi Feng also revealed a look of confusion. Master Gu. Let them in, they are all my old friends. Thinking of this, Yi Feng also spoke directly to Gu Xiaoyun. Okay. Then I will bring the 4 of them here. After saying that, Gu Xiaoyun quickly walked away. She did not expect that these 4 people actually had a slight relationship with Yi Feng. A moment later. Young Master Yi. We just happened to sense your breath, so we came here rashly. I hope young Master Yi will not blame us. When the 4 followed Gu Xiaoyun here, Wu Lin also stepped forward and spoke first. It's okay. But I didn't expect to meet you here. At this point, Yi Feng also asked the system in his heart, System, Du Chuanyang's son Du Tianyi and Wu Su's son Wu Feng, are they suitable to become disciples of the prodigal family? Ding. Du Tianyi and Wu Feng are suitable to become disciples of the prodigal family. Whether to accept them into the prodigal family depends on the host's mood. As Yi Feng's voice fell, the voice of the system rang from his mind. Chapter 544 Yi Xiao, do you know my son Wu Er? When we first parted, I didn't think of bringing them into my family. Since we have met their respective fathers this time, and they are suitable to become disciples of the prodigal family, then let Guan Tu Chang go there and take them into the prodigal family. After hearing the voice of the system, Yi Feng also made a decision. After all, whether it is Du Tianyi, who sold him the management rights of 9 Bafang cities with 9 low-grade fairy stones, or Wu Feng, who was knocked unconscious by his uncle with a palm knife, he has a good impression of them. What is that? White flame poison flower, mysterious ice ghost flower, and demon thunder nether flower. Aren't those the 3 top ancient fairy flowers? They actually exist. At this time, Wusu also noticed the 30,000 ancient top 3 fairy flowers piled up not far away, and then exclaimed in shock. Hearing Wusu's exclamation, Wu Lin, Du Kuanyang, and Zhu Jingtian also turned their heads and looked over. When they also saw the densely packed 3 top ancient fairy flowers, their faces also showed an incredible look. Are you shocked? Are you scared? If you knew that Master Yi was going to burn all these divine flowers, wouldn't you go crazy? Seeing the shocked expressions on the faces of the four people, Gu Xiaoyun's eyes also turned, and then she showed a sly smile and looked at the four people. She was going to let these four people accompany her to bear this pain. Four of you. Take advantage of this time to look at them more. After all, they will be burned by Master Yi soon. After making the decision, Gu Xiaoyun pretended to look at the four people with regret and said, "Burn it? If it is just burned, it is really a pity, but if we can use the flame to grill a skewer, it will be perfect." After hearing Gu Xiaoyun's words, Zhu Jingtian said his thoughts seriously. This legendary fairy flower is garbage in Yi Xiao's eyes. Burning it is the greatest respect for them. What's so good about some garbage fairy flowers that are used for burning, Yi Xiao? I'd better go to help. Yes, we have nothing to do anyway. Then, Wu Lin, Du Kuanyang and Wu Su also expressed their thoughts. What's the situation with you? You were so shocked just now, and now you are so arrogant? Burning it is the greatest respect for them? What's so good about garbage fairy flowers? Hearing the answers of the four people, Gu Xiaoyun couldn't believe her ears. This is different from what she thought. I wanted to let these four people bear this pain together, but who would have thought that in the end, she would bear it all alone? Is it my fault? But these are the three great divine flowers, and there are so many of them. They are going to be burned as soon as they appear in the world. Isn't this painful? At this time, Gu Xiaoyun has begun to doubt her life. On the other side. Everyone, don't be in a hurry. I just happen to have something to tell you. Master Zhu, you should know something about your son Zhu Yang now. It's no exaggeration to say that he should be the god of wealth of your jinxing sect now. Seeing that the four people wanted to go over to help, Yi Feng also hurriedly called everyone, and then looked at Zhu Jingtian and asked. Young Master Yi. Zhu Yang has already told me his identity, and I also know something about you. And he is indeed the god of wealth of the sect now. Now even I, as the father, almost worship him as an ancestor. Although he said so, Zhu Jingtian's face showed an extremely proud look. That's good. After listening to what Zhu Jingtian said, Yi Feng also looked at Du Kuanyang and Wu Su, and then said, You too, I actually have a good impression of Du Tianyi and Wu Feng, and they are also very talented in squandering money, so let them prepare, I will send someone to find them later, and then they will become the gods of wealth of your respective forces. Okay. Nothing else, you can go over and help. Seeing Du Kuanyang and Wu Su, who were both excited, Yi Feng also spoke to the four people with a smile on his face. Young Master Yi. Can I ask you something? That is, do you know my son Wu Er? At this time, Wu Lin also looked at Yi Feng expectantly and asked. Wu Er? No. Master Wu, I only know you, not your son. Hearing Wu Lin's strange question, Yi Feng gave an extremely affirmative answer, without any hesitation. Damn. Hearing Yi Feng's answer, Wu Lin was extremely disappointed and waved his fist and stomped his feet, and then walked aside silently. It's over. Old Wu's hope is completely shattered. If he goes back, he will bleed his son directly. Too miserable. Old Wu's son is too miserable. He didn't do anything, but his father bled him without knowing why. It's really miserable. It's all our fault. If our sons weren't so outstanding, old Wu's son wouldn't have been bled. At this time, Zhu Jingtian, Du Kuanyang and Wu Su gathered together and talked shamelessly. One person was holding a dagger and practicing stabbing at the air. The three people gathered together stealthily and whispered something. What are they doing? Seeing the strangeness of the four people, Yi Feng also muttered to himself with a puzzled look. Yi Feng, this stinky boy. It seems that he really spends a lot of money every time he goes out. He actually knows so many leaders of big forces. At this time, Luo Qianxue, who was not far away, saw this scene and looked at Yi Feng with stars in her eyes. Not far away. Young palace master. We are all sons, you have to fight for the palace master. Otherwise, the palace master will be inferior to these people in the future. Uncle Zhang, who was busy building a giant flower building, looked at Bu Shuai with a serious face after listening to the conversation of everyone. Uncle Zhang. Do you need to say this? If I don't work hard, I'm afraid that my father will be influenced by Wu Lin and will take a dagger to bleed me directly. After hearing Uncle Zhang's reminder, Bu Shuai also said with a face full of fear. 3 hours later. Master Gu. Although it's still about 2 hours before dark, I suggest that we gather everyone on Tianhua Island to come and see this giant flower building. Otherwise, I'm afraid they won't be able to see it clearly when it gets dark. Looking at the 10-meter-high giant flower building in front of him, Yi Feng also looked at Gu Xiaoyun and expressed his thoughts. Chapter 545. Others are competing with their fathers, you are competing with your sons, young Master Yi. I'll prepare right away. But before that, I have to collect all the tens of thousands of precious fairy flowers here. I'll put them back tomorrow morning. After all, these can only be seen when the flower viewing meeting starts. We definitely can't let them see them now. Hearing Yi Feng's words, Gu Xiaoyun also responded quickly. Okay. Just follow the arrangements. Just let them see this giant flower building before dark. At this point, Yi Feng also looked at Uncle Zhang and said, Uncle Zhang, wait until the evening, you will light this giant flower building, let the most glorious moment of your life be remembered by everyone with the flames that soar into the sky. Fuck. You clearly asked me to take the blame, why are you so excited? Hearing Yi Feng's impassioned declaration, Uncle Zhang was going crazy. Mr. Bu. Why are you following me all the time? Is there something wrong? After everyone left the central square, they all went their separate ways. But when Yi Feng found that Bu Shuai had been following him, he stopped, looked at him with a puzzled look, and asked. Mr. Yi. Can you give me a chance to follow you? I want to follow you too. Hearing Yi Feng's question, Bu Shuai also directly expressed his thoughts. Follow me? Hearing Bu Shuai's words, Yi Feng also looked at the other party, and then said, Bu Xiao, to be honest, I feel that your talent for prodigal is average. Yi Xiao. Diligence can make up for shortcomings, I can work hard to learn the way of prodigal. I believe that as long as I work hard enough, I can definitely become a qualified prodigal. Seeing that Yi Feng did not explicitly reject him, Bu Shuai also seized the opportunity and quickly expressed his determination. System. Is Bu Shuai suitable to be a prodigal disciple? Seeing Bu Shuai's firm eyes, Yi Feng also asked the system helplessly. Ding. Bu Shuai is suitable to be a prodigal disciple. Whether to accept him into the prodigal sect depends on the host's mood. Bu Xiao. Do you really want to learn the way of prodigal from me? After hearing the system's words, Yi Feng also looked at Bu Shuai, who was nervous, and asked aloud. Master Yi. I really want to. When Bu Shuai heard Yi Feng's words, his eyes lit up and he responded immediately. Buzz. 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 Just when Yi Feng was about to give a real answer, the sound transmission stone in Bu Shuai's arm suddenly responded. Fuck. Father is crazy. Why didn't you contact me earlier or later? Why did you have to contact me at this critical moment? After finding out that it was his father, Bu Shuai also activated the sound transmission stone in a panic, because Yi Feng had nodded to indicate that he should activate the sound transmission stone first. Bu Shuai. How are you getting along with your good brother? Do you need your father to help you with something? After activating the sound transmission stone, Bu Taixing's voice first rang out from Bu Shuai's mind. Father. Can't you just stay in Shura Palace? Why do you always contact me when you have nothing to do? Others are fighting for their fathers, but you are fighting for your son. Moreover, you don't have to do anything. It's me, as a son, who is silently paying for you behind the scenes. To be honest, I envy you a little bit. You can actually have such an excellent son like me. After hearing Bataixing's words, Bouchois also spoke out in a serious tone. Bouchois, when did you become so shameless? You have become so strange to your father. Before Bataixing finished speaking, Bouchois cut off the connection of the sound transmission stone with a dark face. He realized that his father was just bored and came to chat with him. Bouchou. Since you have made up your mind, then follow me for a while. If your performance satisfies me, I will give you a special opportunity. When Bouchois finished the voice transmission, Yifeng also expressed his decision. Thank you, Mr. Yi, for giving me this opportunity. Don't worry, I will never let you down. Hearing Yifeng's words, Bouchois also responded excitedly. Half an hour later. Fuck. Tianhua Island and Shura Palace are too hidden. I never thought that they would have the 3 legendary divine flowers in their hands, and there are so many of them. Yes, when I saw the giant flower building built by the 3 divine flowers, I couldn't believe my eyes. It's really right to come to the flower viewing conference this time. I can see the legendary 3 divine flowers with my own eyes. There will be no regrets in this life. When hundreds of thousands of fairy flower masters and fairy Taoists who like fairy flowers in Tianhua Island went to the central square and saw the giant flower building, they were all shocked. They never thought that the 3 legendary divine flowers actually existed, and they saw them here with their own eyes. Not only that. At this time, everyone who had seen the 3 divine flowers still had an expectation in their hearts. That is, the big surprise at night mentioned by Gu Xiaoyun. They were all looking forward to and curious about what kind of surprise the big surprise at night would be. Many people even speculated that at night, when everyone gathered in the central square again, would Tianhua Island randomly give some of the 3 great divine flowers to some of the predestined people among them. Tianhua City, in the guest room of the restaurant. Young Master Yi. All the immortals on Tianhua Island have seen the giant flower building, and the response is very good. Next, we only need to wait for another hour, and then Uncle Zhang can start. At this time, Gu Xiaoyun, who was standing in the guest room, also reported these situations to Yifeng with a respectful expression. Very good. I can't wait. After listening to Gu Xiaoyun's words, Yifeng also said with anticipation. In another guest room. This black cloth can't hide my handsome face. This mask doesn't quite match my current temperament. I've worn this fairy robe for too long, should I change to a new one? At this time, in the guest room, Uncle Zhang was constantly selecting various fairy robes, masks, masked cloths, and other items. It can be seen that he is still very concerned about the next role of igniter. Dong dong dong. At this moment, a knock on the door suddenly sounded, and Uncle Zhang walked over with a puzzled look on his face and opened the door. When Uncle Zhang saw that it was Bouchois standing outside, he also asked in surprise, Young Palace Master, what do you want to talk to me about? Chapter 546, Things in Hand. Uncle Zhang quickly retreated. Uncle Zhang. As a fire starter, have you thought about what to use to start the fire? After entering the guest room, Bouchois looked at Uncle Zhang with a serious face and asked. What to use to start the fire? I am a Taoist who practices fire-attributed skills. Not to mention that I can make a flame by rubbing my fingers together, I can even fart to start a fire. Hearing Bouchois' strange question, Uncle Zhang also showed a bit of confusion. Young Palace Master. I haven't thought of what to use to start the fire yet. Otherwise, can you give me some advice? After a moment of silence, Uncle Zhang also looked at Bouchois very tactfully and asked. Uncle Zhang. Let's use the designated space portal to go back to Shura Palace. I want to steal the paintings that contain various powerful artistic conceptions that my father has collected, and then use those paintings to set the giant flower building on fire. After all, the giant flower building is built with 30,000 divine flowers, and the ignition material must not be too bad. What do you think of my idea? Hearing Uncle Zhang's question, Bu Shuai also said his thoughts seriously. What else? If this is discovered, the palace master will hold a long sword and bleed you directly? After hearing Bu Shuai's crazy idea, Uncle Zhang also revealed a bitter smile. He really didn't expect that Bu Shuai would play so big in order to be with Yi Feng. Young palace master. I know you want to stay with Master Yi. But you can spend money little by little, there's no need to make such a big deal right away. If your spending doesn't attract Master Yi's attention, Master Palace Master will never let you go. After a long silence, Uncle Zhang looked at Bu Shuai seriously and persuaded him. Uncle Zhang. I've already found Master Yi. Besides, Master Yi has agreed to let me stay with him, so what I need to do next is to perform well. As long as I perform well, I can definitely fight with the sons of the leaders of the three major forces. Hearing Uncle Zhang's persuasion, Bu Shuai explained with a smug look on his face. What? Master Yi has agreed to let you stay with him? Then what are you waiting for? Hurry back to Shura Palace. I'll cover you, and you go steal the painting. Knowing this, Uncle Zhang shouted excitedly, and then took out 2 designated space portals from the fairy ring. Shura Palace. Uncle Zhang. Then the responsibility of holding father back will be handed over to you. I will contact you immediately after I successfully steal the 3 paintings, and then we will use the designated space portal again and return directly to Tianhua Island. After returning to Shura Palace, Bu Shuai also told the next plan. Too small. Young palace master, your vision is too small. We only have 4 designated space portals, and they can only be used when we are in danger. Since we are going to use them all this time, we can't just steal those 3 paintings. You have to understand that you can only perform those 3 paintings once. Don't you need to continue to perform after that? After hearing Bu Shuai's plan, Uncle Zhang proposed a different idea. Uncle Zhang, what do you mean, steal more? Hearing Uncle Zhang's words, Bu Shuai also reacted, and then looked at Uncle Zhang and asked. What do you mean by stealing more? Just steal everything. As long as you can get Master Yi's approval, you will be the god of wealth of Shura Palace in the future. For this goal, everything we have done now is worth it. Seeing that Bu Shuai still didn't understand his true thoughts, Uncle Zhang also explained helplessly. Steal everything? Hearing this, Bu Shuai was stunned at first, then looked at Uncle Zhang excitedly and said, Uncle Zhang, it has to be you, no wonder Master Yi is so optimistic about you, you are really talented. After that, Bu Shuai quickly ran towards Bu Taixing's private treasure house. I have talent. But young Master Yi's crazy idea of squandering money has nothing to do with me. Hearing Bu Shuai's praise, Uncle Zhang also revealed a bitter smile, and then ran towards the main hall of Shura Palace. He had to hold the palace master back, and he must not let any accidents happen to this theft plan. Tianhua Island, Tianhua City, in the guest room of the restaurant. I don't know what's going on with Hier. How about, after the flower viewing meeting is over, I will take Master to the Tiandao battlefield to play, and by the way, see what the current situation of the squandering city managed by Hier is like. At this time, Yi Feng, who was lying on the bed, suddenly thought of Hier, who managed 18 squandering cities in the Tiandao battlefield. Shura Palace, Main Hall. Elder Zhang Hu. You have been chatting with me for almost half an hour. That's not a single useful sentence. I almost fell asleep listening to it. Tell me, how is Bu Shuai and his good brother getting along now? At this time, Bu Taixing, who finally couldn't stand the torture, interrupted Zhang Hu's words directly, and then asked with curiosity, Buzz. 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 At this moment, the sound transmission stone in Uncle Zhang's arms also responded. Uncle Zhang. We got the stuff, retreat quickly. When Uncle Zhang activated the sound transmission stone with his spiritual sense, Bu Shuai's excited voice rang out from his mind. Lord Palace Master. I still have a big job on Tianhua Island, which is definitely the most glorious moment in my life. So, I have to hurry back. After I'm done with that, I'll come back and tell you about the situation of the young palace master and Yi Xiao. After saying that, Uncle Zhang directly cut his finger, activated the designated space portal with blood, and disappeared directly from Butaxing's sight. What's going on? Come and go in a hurry. Only left me a lot of nonsense? Looking at Uncle Zhang leaving, Butaxing was completely confused. Wait. Something's wrong. It's too fucking wrong. After recovering from his shock, Butaxing frowned and thought to himself, Elder Zhang, who has always been by my son's side. Now he's suddenly back. Does that mean that brat Bu Shuai is back as well? And Elder Zhang, who just said a lot of nonsense to me. It's obvious that he's trying to hold me back. So where will that brat Bu Shuai go? Not good. Thinking of this, Butaxing suddenly thought of something, and then rushed out of the hall with an anxious look, and ran directly towards his private treasure house. Chapter 547. This kind of small scene, you sure a palace can't handle it? A moment later. Fuck. All my treasures are gone. Bu Shuai, you are a stinky boy. At least leave one for me. When Butaxing came to his private treasure house and found that dozens of treasures in it had been emptied, the whole person collapsed and shouted. Tianhua Island, Central Square. Young Master Yi. What are the arrangements next? Should I go up and light the giant flower building when you call me up? At this time, looking at the hundreds of thousands of fairy flower masters and fairy Taoists who like fairy flowers who had already gathered here, Uncle Zhang also looked at Yi Feng nervously and asked. What else are you going to do? Why do you have to wait for me to call you? Why don't you just go up and light up the giant flower building? You know, it's already night, so we must hurry up and disperse as soon as possible. Hearing Uncle Zhang's strange words, Yi Feng also said with a puzzled look on his face. Say nothing, just go up and burn it? And then you don't even show your face, and let me bear everyone's anger alone. Hearing Yi Feng's words, Uncle Zhang was completely stunned. This was different from what he thought. In his mind, Yi Feng would definitely show his face first, then tell everyone about the giant flower building, and finally make a brilliant appearance. After lighting the giant flower building, he would directly detonate the whole place. But now it seems that all the situations are different from what he thought. Young Master Yi. If I don't explain it to them first, I'm afraid there will be a big mess in a while. At this time, Gu Xiaoyun also came over, and then looked at Yi Feng and expressed her concerns. Big mess? Didn't my master say that you can calm down anything that happens on Tianhua Island? At this point, Yi Feng also looked at Bu Shuai and asked, Xiaobu, you sure a palace can't calm down this small scene? Small scene? You call this a small scene? Hearing Yi Feng's words, Bu Shuai was also stunned, and then he smiled bitterly and explained, Young Master Yi, after all, there are several overlord-level forces here. If they make trouble together, even my Shura palace can't control the situation. Is that so? Then I'll find some people to calm the situation down. After hearing Bu Shuai's explanation, Yi Feng directly said to the system, let Yi bring 100,000 golden armor guards to calm down the situation. Ding. Host, this big scene is very tricky. For safety, let Yi bring 1 million golden armor guards. As Yi Feng's voice fell, the voice of the system also rang from his mind. This big scene is very tricky? For safety, let Yi bring 1,000,000 golden armor guards? Playing? After hearing the system's words, Yi Feng also revealed a bitter smile. After all, Yi alone can suppress the whole scene, and in order to give many golden armor guards a chance to come out and take a breath, he has increased the number to 100,000. Who would have thought that the system would directly increase it to 1,000,000? Young Master Yi. Are you going to let the Golden Legend come to calm down the situation? Hearing Yi Feng say that he was going to find someone to calm down the situation, Bu Shuai suddenly thought of something, and then looked at Yi Feng with excitement and asked. That's right. I'm going to let Golden Legend come to calm the situation. So, we can start right away. Hearing Bu Shuai's question, Yi Feng also responded with a yawn. Golden Legend? Yi Xiao is actually the big terror behind Golden Legend? Gu Xiaoyun and Uncle Zhang on the side were also shocked when they heard the news, and their pupils were wide open, their eyes full of disbelief. Too dazzling. My disciple is really the most dazzling one no matter where he is. Luo Qianxue also looked at Yi Feng with stars in her eyes. Everyone. The 3 legendary divine flowers really exist. And this giant flower building behind me is built with 30,000 divine flowers. Letting you see it today is also a wish of yours. And next, it's time to reveal the big surprise at night. At this time, Bu Shuai also walked to the center of the central square, and then stood in front of the giant flower building, looking at the hundreds of thousands of fairy flower masters around and shouted loudly. Excited. After hearing Bu Shuai's words, hundreds of thousands of fairy flower masters and immortals who like fairy flowers all showed extremely excited expressions. In fact, at this time most people are fantasizing whether they will become the destined person next, so that they can get one or more divine flowers. And the leaders of several overlord-level forces are now thinking about how to exchange some divine flowers from the hands of Shura Palace in the future. Uncle Zhang. It's your turn. Seeing that the atmosphere has reached its peak, Bu Shuai also excitedly shouted to Uncle Zhang. Soon, Uncle Zhang appeared in everyone's sight with a flame in his right hand, and the flame in his right hand was what ignited the 3 paintings with special artistic conception. Then, under the horrified gaze of hundreds of thousands of fairy flower masters and immortals who like fairy flowers, Uncle Zhang directly ignited the giant flower building, and then the whole person flew to the middle of the burning giant flower building. Burn, divine flower. Let Zhang Hu, the most glorious moment in this life, be imprinted in everyone's heart with this soaring flame. At this time, under the illumination of the fire, Uncle Zhang also talked to himself very excitedly, and he is now definitely the most dazzling existence in the night. Crazy! At this time, hundreds of thousands of fairy flower masters and immortals who like fairy flowers around saw this scene, and they were all going crazy. Those are the 3 great divine flowers in their minds. They never dreamed that the big surprise at night would be such a surprise, and what they wanted to say was that this was not a surprise, this was simply a shock. Although the 30,000 divine flowers belonged to the Shura Palace, and they did not want to own them, they could never accept the 3 great divine flowers in their minds being burned in this way. Thinking of this, hundreds of thousands of people also showed a hint of anger and prepared to ask Bu Shuai for an explanation. At this moment, countless golden swords were silently pressed against their necks. At this moment, they instantly calmed down. Ding! Congratulations to the host for completing today's wasteful product. You will be rewarded with 1,000 wasteful points, 1 immortality pill, and 10,000 of the 3 top-level ancient immortal flowers. At the same time as the giant flower building was completely ignited, the system's reward prompt sound also rang from Yifeng's mind. Chapter 548 Yi's Small Game, The Nightmare of Hundreds of Thousands of People. What's the situation? Just burned 30,000 plants, and gave away another 30,000 plants? Why do you always give me these broken flowers? After checking the special rewards, Yifeng also showed a hint of disappointment, and then directly threw a fairy ring to Gu Xiaoyun on the side, and said at the same time, Gu Island Master, there are 30,000 divine flowers in this fairy ring, and there are also 10,000 of the 3 kinds of divine flowers. You can keep them for fun. After that, Yifeng walked towards Luo Qianxue. Master. After attending the flower viewing meeting tomorrow, do you want to go to the Tiandao battlefield for a stroll? When he came to Luo Qianxue, Yifeng also asked with a smile on his face. Okay. It doesn't matter if we practice for a day or 2. Hearing Yifeng's proposal, Luo Qianxue quickly agreed. Afterwards, Yifeng and Luo Qianxue left the central square first. What's going on? I burned 30,000 divine flowers, why don't these people react at all? Puzzled, Bu Shuai took out a special immortal ore that could illuminate from his immortal ring, and then threw it directly into the sky. Soon, the entire central square was as bright as day. Fuck. No way. Are they here to keep the peace or to rob? When Bu Shuai saw that the millions of golden-armored troops surrounded hundreds of thousands of fairy flower masters and fairy Taoists who liked fairy flowers, and even everyone was held hostage by 3 or 4 golden-armored guards with golden swords, he was really scared. Everyone listen to me. We are the golden legends that leave no bitter tea seeds wherever we go. I don't care what you think in your heart, but Shura Palace and Tianhua Island are covered by our golden legends. They can do whatever they want, and no one can say anything about them. If anyone dares to say a bad word, don't blame us for being rude. Just when everyone was at a loss, Yi also flew to a high altitude, and then looked at everyone with a cold expression and warned them directly. Shock. Unbelievable. Fear. When the leaders of many first-class, top-level, and overlord-level forces heard Yi's words, they all showed incredible expressions. They never thought that Tianhua Island and Shura Palace had such a relationship with the Golden Legend. The next morning. Hey! Another fucking quilt was ruined. I shouldn't have watched the welfare last night. Yifeng, who had just woken up from his sweet dream, quietly put away the quilt full of battle results, and then checked the wasteful products refreshed today. Today's wasteful product, Dragon Whip *10000000, 1 million. Dragon Whip, the dragon whip of a dragon-like fairy beast with the 9th peak cultivation of the immortal tribulation realm. I won't go into detail about the specific effect. This broken thing again? Although it tastes good when roasted, I don't want to continue eating it, after all, I've eaten it once before. After checking today's wasteful products, Yifeng also showed a hint of disappointment. If it doesn't need to be roasted, how can this thing be wasted? Then, Yifeng lowered his head and pondered. After a moment. Got it. The golden armored army guarding the 18 loser cities in the battlefield of heaven must be very bored at ordinary times. Then can I use these 1 million dragon whips to make some long dragon ropes for them, and then let them jump rope when they have nothing to do? Thinking of this, Yifeng's face also showed a smile, and then murmured to himself, in order to solve the boring life of so many golden armored soldiers, I really worry about it. 1 million dragon fairy beasts, have you considered our feelings when you play like this? Dong dong dong. At this moment, a knock on the door suddenly sounded. Disciple, are you awake? The flower viewing meeting is about to begin, we have to hurry over. Then, Luo Qianxue's voice rang out from outside the door. Master. I'm awake, I'll be out soon. After saying that, Yifeng quickly put on his clothes, then walked out of the guest room, followed Luo Qianxue out of the restaurant, and walked directly towards the central square. The other side. Central Square. Brothers. My lord is here, our mission to keep the place under control is over, let's retreat. When Yi sensed Yifeng's breath, a look of reluctance appeared on his face, and then he led 1 million golden armored troops into the space crack and disappeared directly from everyone's sight. Fuck. Finally they left. They are simply devils, they actually dragged us to play rock paper scissors all night. When Yi left with 1,000,000 golden armored troops, hundreds of thousands of fairy flower masters, with pig-headed faces, also hugged the people around them and cried bitterly. What realm of cultivation are they, what are their identities, when have they ever suffered such grievances? 3 golden armored guards are playing with a fairy flower master. Unless the fairy flower master can beat all 3 of them, it is not considered a win. And as long as one of the 3 golden armored guards beats the fairy flower master, it is considered a win. As a result, every time they played, the 3 golden armor guards would play rock, scissors, and paper as if they had agreed on it. This created a situation where the fairy flower master could not win once, but would receive a little fist of love from a golden armor guard every time. Too damn cruel. I suddenly realized that the real horror of the golden legend is not robbery, but playing rock, scissors, paper. If I were the target of the golden legend, I would rather be robbed of all my bitter tea seeds than play this losing game of rock, scissors, paper with them. Looking at the hundreds of thousands of fairy flower masters who had been tortured all night, whether it was Bu Shuai, Feng Xiaoxiao, Gu Xiaoyun or Uncle Zhang, there was a hint of fear in their eyes at this time. Young Palace Master. If you really follow Master Yi in the future, you must build a good relationship with that Yi. In order to make his own people happy, the game rules he set are really shameless to the extreme. But I have to say, that Yi is too damn good at playing. If you play any games in the future, you must stand on the same side with him. After all, although he is a terrible opponent, he is definitely a reliable teammate. After recovering from his shock, Uncle Zhang also looked at Bu Shuai seriously and reminded him. Uncle Zhang. I know. If young Master Yi really recognizes me, I will definitely have a good relationship with Yi in the future. Hearing Uncle Zhang's reminder, Bu Shuai also responded with a serious face. A moment later. Huh. Why did you all come so early? When Yifeng and Luo Qianque came to the central square, they found that everyone had already arrived here, and they also asked with surprise. Came early? We couldn't go back all night. Hearing Yifeng's words, everyone wanted to cry to death. Chapter 549. A flying fairy weapon is so fancy. Wait a minute. What are you all like? Fighting each other? At this time, Yifeng also noticed the pig-headed faces of everyone, and then asked with a shocked face. Fighting each other? We were beaten unilaterally. Hearing Yifeng's words, everyone felt even more wronged. They had never thought that they were just here to attend a flower viewing meeting, but they first watched 30,000 sacred flowers being destroyed, and then they were beaten all night. Who could withstand this double blow? Young Master Yi. This situation is a bit complicated. Let me explain it to you slowly. At this time, Bu Shuai also walked in front of Yifeng, and then told him about how Yi led 1,000,000 golden armored troops to play rock paper scissors with hundreds of thousands of fairy flower masters all night. You didn't go back all night? And you played the rock paper scissors game with Yi and the others all night? After listening to Bu Shuai's explanation, Yifeng also showed a touch of surprise, and then a smile appeared on the corner of his mouth and murmured to himself, Yi, this guy, is really good at playing. A moment later. When Gu Xiaoyun took out all the precious fairy flowers that were collected yesterday and placed them properly, the flower viewing meeting was officially started. Xiaobu. After the flower viewing meeting is over, I plan to go to the Tiandao battlefield with Master to play. And during this time, you can move freely. I will contact you when I come back from the Tiandao battlefield. Walking on the fragrant flower road, Yifeng also said to Bu Shuai beside him. Young Master Yi. I know. Hearing Yifeng's words, Bu Shuai also responded quickly, but secretly thought in his heart, if there is an opportunity to show, then you must work hard to show it. If there is no opportunity to show it, then you have to create opportunities yourself. It just so happens that there is a special secret treasure in my father's private treasure house that suppresses strength. With that special secret treasure, let's have a chance encounter with Yi Xiao in the Tiandao battlefield. Thinking of this, Bu Shuai also released a trace of consciousness to check Luo Qianxue's strength. He believed that Yi Feng would definitely suppress his strength and then enter the same Tiandao battlefield with Luo Qianxue. Half a day later. Disciple. The last time we went to the Tiandao battlefield to play, there was Chen Fan, the light bulb, in the way. Fortunately, you didn't let Bu Shuai go with you this time, otherwise there would be another light bulb. After leaving the central square, Luo Qianxue also smiled and said to Yi Feng, "Master, I didn't know what you meant last time. If I had known, I would definitely not have brought Chen Fan with me. But this time, no one will be able to disturb our world of two." Hearing Luo Qianxue's words, Yi Feng also patted his chest and promised. Uncle Zhang, is there something wrong? Just then, Yi Feng saw Uncle Zhang suddenly blocking their way, and asked curiously. "Young Master Yi. I learned from the young palace master that you and Lord Luo wanted to go to the Heavenly Dao battlefield. So, I came here to ask, which Heavenly Dao battlefield do you want to go to, because our Shura Palace controls many towns from the 1st to the 9th Heavenly Dao battlefield. If there is a place where our Shura Palace is needed, I can make arrangements in advance." Hearing Yi Feng's inquiry, Uncle Zhang also hurriedly explained. "Uncle Zhang. Master and I are going to the second battlefield of the Heavenly Dao. As you know, I have bought a lot of town management rights in the 8 Directions sect and the Immortal Insect Valley. And in the second battlefield of the Heavenly Dao, there are 2 prodigal cities that I control. I will go directly to one of the prodigal cities, so there is no need to trouble you, the Shura Palace." Yi Feng smiled and responded after hearing this. Seeing that Yi Feng and Luo Qianxue had gone far away without any doubt, Uncle Zhang also breathed a sigh of relief, and then quickly took out the sound transmission stone and contacted Bu Shuai, who had left Tianhua Island. "Young Palace Master. I got the news. Young Master Yi is going to the second battlefield of the Heavenly Dao, but the destination is one of the 2 prodigal cities. Whether you can meet it depends on your luck." After activating the sound transmission stone, Uncle Zhang also quickly told Bu Shuai the news he had received. "Uncle Zhang. You underestimate me. I can go to one of the prodigal cities first, and then arrange someone to take my flying fairy weapon to another prodigal city. If young Master Yi is not going to the prodigal city where I am, then I can use the flying fairy weapon as the location and use the designated space portal to teleport there immediately. Fortunately, there are 8 designated space portals in my father's private treasure house, otherwise, this plan would be difficult to implement." After saying that, Bu Shuai directly cut off the connection of the sound transmission stone. Thoughtful. Young Palace Master has really grown up. Looking at the sound transmission stone in his hand that has lost contact, Uncle Zhang also showed a relieved smile. "Disciple. Use all your strength to activate the 7th grade flying fairy weapon. In less than 2 hours, we can reach the nearest teleportation tower of the Tiandao battlefield, and then we can directly enter the Tiandao battlefield." At this time, Luo Qianxue, who was sitting on a gourd-shaped flying fairy weapon, also smiled and said to Yi Feng in front of her. "Master. Then you have to hold me tight, I'm going to speed up." As he said, Yi Feng, who was sitting in front, also showed a sly smile, and then he used all his strength to activate the gourd-shaped flying fairy weapon under him. Click. 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 However, what made Luo Qianxue blush was that Yi Feng actually started to play at this time, constantly starting quickly, and then stopping at high speed, which caused her body to constantly hit Yi Feng's back. This brat. A flying fairy weapon can be played with so many tricks. I really don't know where he learned it. Thinking of this, Luo Qianxue also whispered, Disciple, you must control the flying fairy weapon well, it almost hurts me. Master. This is also the first time for the disciple to control this flying fairy weapon. After all, in the past, it was always controlled by Shui Bishue or others, and I don't have much experience. But now I feel that I have mastered it, so let's start our journey. Hearing Luo Qianxue's words, Yi Feng also felt that he had enjoyed it enough. After a brief explanation, he controlled the gourd-shaped flying fairy weapon and flew quickly towards the direction of the Tiandao battlefield transmission tower. An hour later. Master. We are here. Before going in, it's the old rule. Put on the black mask that suppresses your strength first. When Yi Feng came to the teleportation tower of the Tiandao battlefield, he handed the black mask that suppressed his strength to Luo Qianxue. Chapter 550 Bu Shui, why are you here? Wearing this black mask again? I don't need to suppress my strength. Besides, we are not going to rob. Seeing the black mask handed over by Yi Feng, Luo Qianxue also showed a bitter smile, but finally took it. Among the people who just walked into the teleportation tower, why do I feel that someone's back looks familiar? When he came to the teleportation tower of the Tiandao battlefield and looked at the group of people who just walked in, Yi Feng frowned and muttered to himself. Disciple. What are you thinking about? Let's hurry in. Seeing Yi Feng standing there, not knowing what he was thinking, Luo Qianxue also shouted. The second Tiandao battlefield. I'm at the Tiandao battlefield again. This time, Yi Feng and I should be able to spend some time alone together. After arriving at the Tiandao battlefield, Luo Qianxue's eyes also showed a hint of expectation. Just as Luo Qianxue was imagining a beautiful world for two, a space crack suddenly appeared from the side, and then Yi Xiaojiao walked out of the space crack. What's going on? Where is the world for two that was promised? What did Yi Xiaojiao come here for? Seeing Yi Xiaojiao coming out, Luo Qianxue also looked at Yi Feng with a puzzled look. Xiaojiao. Send me and master directly to the prodigal city. At this time, Yi Feng also looked at Yi Xiaojiao and said directly. Yes, master. Hearing Yi Feng's order, Yi Xiaojiao also responded quickly. Disciple, why are you in such a hurry to go to the prodigal city? Are you going to be a prodigal again? At this time, Luo Qianxue also looked at Yi Feng with curiosity and asked. Master. You still understand your disciple? Because I have a batch of goods in my hand. If it is not sold before dark, it will expire. So, we have to rush to the prodigal city immediately and then sell this batch of goods. Hearing Luo Qianxue's inquiry, Yi Feng also smiled and explained. What are you waiting for? Xiaojiao, hurry up and send us over. After listening to what Yi Feng said, Luo Qianxue also looked at Yi Xiaojiao and urged him, mainly because she was also very curious about what kind of strange way Yi Feng wanted to lose this time and what kind of precious treasure. Love the house and love the dog, Luo Qianxue is now more and more interested in Yi Feng's profligate behavior. In fact, if she didn't have to practice every day, she would like to follow Yi Feng and profligate in various ways every day, and then enjoy the happiness brought by profligate. Profligate City. Meet my lord. When Yi Feng and Luo Qianxue appeared outside the east city gate of Profligate City, the two golden armored guards standing at the gate also knelt on one knee and shouted to Yi Feng respectfully. Get up. I just came here to stroll around, you continue. After letting the two golden armored guards stand up, Yi Feng also took Luo Qianxue into the town. Master Yi Er. Come back soon, my lord is here. When Yi Feng and Luo Qianxue entered the city, one of the golden armored guards also quickly notified Yi Er, who was currently in the 8th heavenly battlefield, of the situation. Disciple. We have come to the prodigal city. When are you going to start the prodigal city? After entering the prodigal city, Luo Qianxue looked at Yi Feng and asked impatiently. Master, we still have to wait for someone. Why don't we find a restaurant to stay in first? I believe that person will get the news and come to me soon. Hearing Luo Qianxue's words, Yi Feng also smiled and explained. A moment later. Master Yi. Just as Yi Feng and Luo Qianxue were looking for a restaurant, a familiar voice suddenly sounded from behind them. Bu Shuai. When Yi Feng and Luo Qianxue turned around and found that Bu Shuai was looking at them excitedly, they were also confused. They never thought that they would meet someone they shouldn't meet here. So lucky. I am really so lucky. If I hadn't happened to appear near this prodigal city, I would have missed this chance to meet Yi Xiao. It seems that God is helping me. At this time, Bu Shuai's eyes also showed a trace of relief. After all, he didn't expect that Yi Feng would appear in the prodigal city so soon, and it happened to be the prodigal city where he was. Bu Shuai. Why are you here? After recovering from his shock, Yi Feng also looked at Bu Shuai and asked curiously. Master Yi. Didn't you tell me that you were going to come to the Heavenly Dao battlefield to play, and then let me move freely? I thought that since there was nothing to do anyway, I might as well try my luck in this Heavenly Dao battlefield, just in case I encountered any opportunity. Who would have thought that I would meet Master Yi here? This is really too coincidental. Hearing Yi Feng's inquiry, Bu Shuai also smiled and explained. Too coincidental? You have the strength of the 3rd level of the Immortal Saint realm, but you don't go to the 8th level of the Heavenly Dao battlefield, but you have to use a special secret treasure to come to the 2nd level of the Heavenly Dao battlefield. Do you call this a coincidence? Hearing Bu Shuai's words, Yi Feng's face was instantly covered with black lines. If he believed what the other party said, he would be a big fool. System. Use the opportunity of spying on the secrets of heaven once, and check the purpose of Bu Shuai's appearance in the Tiandao battlefield this time. Thinking of this, Yi Feng also spoke directly to the system. Ding. Consume the opportunity of spying on the secrets of heaven once. Bu Shuai entered the Tiandao battlefield this time for the host. He wants to create opportunities for himself, and then continue to show himself in front of you, so that he can get your recognition. However, Bu Shuai happened to meet the host at this time. It is indeed a coincidence. Otherwise, the possibility of your meeting is extremely low. As Yi Feng's voice fell, the voice of the system rang from his mind. Fuck. No way, is it really a coincidence? After learning about these situations, Yi Feng's face also showed a touch of surprise, and he thought to himself, although the other party came with this purpose, we should not have met. It can only be said that it was a coincidence. This is really fate. Ah. After all, a dazzling light bulb appeared in the world of 2 people between me and my apprentice. At this time, Luo Qianxue on the side also showed a bitter smile. Okay. Since you have met, then follow me. Let's find a restaurant to stay first, and then wait for someone. Yi Feng had already accepted his fate, and then he spoke directly to Bu Shuai. Young Master Yi. I have found the restaurant, and the guest rooms for you and Lord Luo are also open, and even the food and wine are ready. Let's just go there. Hearing Yi Feng's words, Bu Shuai knew that his chance to show off had come, and then he spoke out quickly.